Today we have Stephanie back to talk to us about dogs and dogs dreaming. Stephanie, do dogs dream?
They do. They have REM sleep just like we do, and that's where the dreaming occurs. And you might see them twitching their bodies or paddling their feet, or maybe hear some soft vocalizations when they dream. So, yes, the short answer is yes, they do. Puppies and senior dogs do spend more time in REM sleep, so they tend to dream more frequently than adult dogs.
What do we need to know about dogs and dreaming?
Well, I like to think of it as dogs and sleeping, and it's one of my favorite subjects actually because I do behavior modification, and just like for us, if your dogs aren't getting enough sleep, then it affects their behavior, and it doesn't affect them in a positive way, just like it does with us, right? We get a little grumpy, maybe we lose a little bit of self-control. Same thing can happen with dogs, so they can be more irritable, reduce self-control, it increases their stress. So I think the one big thing that I want people to get out of here today is that dogs need more sleep in a 24-hour period than we do. And a lot of people don't know that. If your dog is just sleeping overnight, it's probably not getting enough sleep. Adult dogs, and there's some debate about this, what the actual numbers are, and I suspect that that has to do with size and age and breed. But generally speaking, adult dogs, you want to have them have 12 to 14 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period. So if they're sleeping overnight and you are sleeping for 8 hours, then you need to find another 4 to 6 in there during the day to make sure that they're getting enough sleep. And I mean, real sleep, not, I've closed my eyes and every noise is causing me to wake up. You want to make sure that they're getting enough sleep in order to help them be able to regulate their own behavior. And then puppies and senior dogs, they tend to need more sleep than that. Think 16 to 20 hours, depending on the energy that's being used. Puppies need a lot because of they're always growing. And so that energy is provided in that extra sleep. Senior dogs, they just need more to keep on going. And of course, larger breeds may require more sleep too.
It's good to know. I have two senior dogs, and one of them easily sleeps probably 19, 20 hours in a 24-hour period.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice to know that it's normal.
Yep. And if chronically they're lacking the rest that they need, they can be hyperactive. There can be excessive barking going on. They can have a real difficult time settling down. And you want to have a consistent sleep routine and a quiet place for the dog to be able to go in order to sleep the way that they need to. And so that's what I like to talk about sleep. But yes, dogs do dream, and studies suggest that they dream about daily activities just like we do. So playing, running, um, interacting with us. They might be helping to process memories and reinforce learning. So if you've done a training session, they might be dreaming about that. Of course, it's not like we can get in there and exactly figure out what they're dreaming. So we don't know, but there are studies that suggest that they dream about their daily experiences. And then I am a big proponent of the old saying, let sleeping dogs lie. If your dog is sleeping, don't necessarily wake them up unless you have to, particularly if they are having a nightmare, because they may come out of that in an agitated state. So if it's not just, the normal little bits of movement, some, maybe some whining noises or something that may indicate that they're barking in their dream. Like Trayan will do a noise, and I think I always say, well, he must be barking at something when he does that, because it's different than some of the other noises that he makes. And he'll growl in his sleep too. So you want to be paying attention to those things and make sure that it's not excessive, that the night, if you're thinking they're having a nightmare, you don't want them to have them frequently. I would definitely be talking to your vet, particularly if it resulted in behavior change like anxiety or additional stress, or they need some type of behavior issues addressed.
That's good to know. And I think it's instinctively, so many of us, if we see a dog that seems to be having a nightmare, we want to comfort them and wake them.
Yeah, you want to do that gently because they may come out of it. What if they were in a fight in their dream and they come out of it just like we do, right? We're ready and raring to go. You want to make sure that you are further away from them, maybe call their name softly, kind of help bring them out of it slowly instead of, shaking them and saying, "Hey, you're having a nightmare," because they might turn around and, snap at you.
Yeah, makes sense. I have a friend whose husband did that. About a bar scene, and he almost hit her in the face before he realized
Right.
what was going on.
Right, because he's disoriented, right? He's still in the dream. And that can happen with your dog. Your dog is still in the dream. They haven't registered that, oh, wait, I'm in the safety of my own home.
That's really good information, especially the part about how much sleep dogs require. And is there anything that a person can do to make sure that their dog is getting enough sleep?
Well, keep track of it. Dogs do not, we do most of our sleeping all in one bunch, right? We sleep overnight. Dogs tend to do them in bits and pieces. And so, kind of figuring out what their routine is will help you to support them in getting enough sleep. And what usually happens is people think, oh, well, they're laying on the couch. Well, if you can like softly say their name or they're lifting their head with every noise, like I don't know if you can see my guy right here. I'm babbling away and he is out. Okay? That is proper sleep. Now, if he were waking up or every time I, tapped something or knocked something or pick something up or down or maybe raised my voice a little bit, if every time he was perking his head up, I would be making sure that at least part of the time that I was making noise in this room, he would be in another room in a comfortable bed that's quieter, that's going to help him get the sleep that he needs.
Just watching and
Hmm.
monitoring her, and
Yes.
how absolute out of it are they is another.
Yes, exactly. Are they really sleeping or are they just kind of resting their eyes and they're aware of everything else that's going on around them? But those are the basics. Make sure they're getting enough and they need more than you think they need. If they're an adult dog, a minimum of 12. I wouldn't even say a maximum of 14 because everybody's different. Every dog is different, just like us. Some people thrive on 8 hours of sleep and some people need more. So, you want to make sure that you're just kind of paying attention and your dog's behavior will actually give you the answers. Just
Great,
like
good.
us. When we have enough sleep, we're better, nicer to be around.
And if any of you have questions about how to handle a dog or try to make sure that they're getting the sleep that they need, all of the information is in the show notes. You can give Stephanie a call anytime. Stephanie, we will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much.
Of course. Lovely talking with you, Lee. Take care. Bye bye.